Hey guys, this is Troy from TroyPoint.com. This quick video complements my last one where I supercharged my new ON 4K Plus Android TV box. In that video, I indicated that I couldn't get external devices to work when hooked up to an OTG-C cable like I'm showing here in this video. Special thanks to Bob Sherman 6790, a YouTube visitor who points out that USB devices do work with USB-C OTG if USB debugging is turned off. I will leave a link for the OTG-C cable I'm using here in the video notes below, along with other important links that I referenced throughout the tutorial. So I'm going to go to Settings, go into System, Developer Options, and if you're going to do this, you want to turn off USB debugging. Now, if you haven't already enabled developer options like I showed in my Supercharge ON 4K Plus video, you don't need to worry about this. Just proceed to the next step. So now I'm going to go back, go into storage, and now you're going to see the USB drive that I connected earlier in the video clip is now present in this list. Now I am going to try expanding internal storage, but I do want to point out the fact that I have gone through this process a few times before I did this video. It worked on 1 out of 3 USB devices. So this is very hit and miss. I personally don't recommend doing this. If you need additional storage, I would suggest purchasing the ON 4K Pro instead. That comes with 32 gigs of storage, whereas this comes with 16. But nonetheless, this might work for you depending on the USB drive you're using. Now, I should point out before I go any further, if you just want to transfer files back and forth from this device, you can leave it as is. What I'm going to be doing here is I'm adding to the additional internal storage. And that's referred to as adoptable storage or expanding internal storage. We're basically taking this USB drive and adding it to the existing 12 gigabytes that are currently available. So I'm going to click my USB drive here, erase and format as device storage. Format. You'll see there it says USB storage reconnected. Now, you may have better success trying a smaller drive such as 32 or 64 gigabytes. I have noticed that that has helped in the past when I have problems with this. Okay, it says Android is formatted, so that worked the way it should. And I should point out that I didn't do anything as far as formatting that USB drive. It was formatted as exFAT file system. I simply input it into the OTG-C adapter, booted it up, and this is what we have now. Okay, it's asking me to move data. I'm going to go ahead and click Move Now. Could not migrate data to SanDisk USB drive, another problem. But I will show you how to deal with that error. I'm going to go back to the home screen. I'm going to launch a downloader. Put the cursor in the URL box. I'm going to go to the TroyPoint toolbox by typing in 250931. Hit enter and then go. Okay, I'm going to scroll down, and under the Tools and Utilities heading, you're going to find this Remote ADB app. I'm going to download this. I'm going to hit Done. Delete the installation file, back to the home screen. Now, before I go into the ADB app, I need to go back into Settings, and I need to temporarily turn on USB debugging again for this to work. So I'm going to go into System. Now, if you don't see developer options on the screen, what you want to do is go into About, highlight, Build, and click it 7 times. And once you do that, it will say you are now a developer. You're going to come back, and it's going to be in the list. Developer options. And I am going to hit revoke USB debugging authorizations. That clears all of the debugging previously. And now I'm going to turn on USB debugging. Go back to the home screen. Now, since this ADB app is an older app, it doesn't have support for Android TV, and that's why you don't see the shortcut in this list here. But since I installed Project Ivy in the previous video, we can use that to launch the application. Refer to the link in the video notes below to get to the previous video that I already did. Okay, I'm going to open the ADB app. I'm going to type in local host back button to get rid of the keyboard, move down, click connect, hit the box that says always allow from this computer, and then click allow. Okay, now I'm going to click the OK button on my remote and type the following command. PM space list space users. Hit the check mark. And you're going to see there in the second line, there's a new user number 10. We need to get rid of that. So next, I'm going to type in PM space remove dash user space. Now you're going to notice autocorrect just screwed up what I typed in. So I'm going to hit the back or delete button and then click the corrected version there at the top. So it's PM space remove dash user space 10. Hit the check mark and it says success removed user. Back to the home screen. Okay, I'm going to go back into all settings, system, developer options, and I'm going to turn off debugging. Back button, back into storage. I'm going to highlight the USB drive, and we're going to try migrating data to this storage again. Move now, and now you will see that it works. Migrated data to SanDisk storage. So you can think of this now as all one big bundle of storage. Now, one more thing I should have done when I was in developer options. I'm going to go back in there. System, developer options. Go to the bottom of the list here. Force allow apps onto external. And what that will do is any application you install from this point forward will be placed on the USB drive. And it will also allow you to move applications over to the USB drive that don't declare support for doing that. And I'll show you an example. I'm going to go into apps under settings. And let's say we want to move downloader over to the USB drive. I can just come in here, go to storage used, and hit SanDisk. Now, I don't suggest putting the apps onto USB that you use on a regular basis, such as VPN, any type of streaming apps that you use on a regular basis. I wouldn't put those on external storage. You're going to get better performance if it's running off of internal storage. And again, that's why I'm not a big fan of even doing this. And then if you want to move an application from external back to internal, again, you just go into the app and you can quickly do that. So that is how you can expand internal storage on the ON 4K Plus. And I'm going to undo this because I don't personally like using external storage on these devices. So to undo this, now I want to migrate data back to internal. Okay, that has been completed. And now I'm going to go into the SanDisk USB drive, erase and format as removable storage. There's no apps to back up because I don't have any applications on the USB drive. The device is now rebooting. More than likely there was a problem. And that's what I've seen with the other drives where I try this. And I think the problem is that there's not enough power coming into the device from the power adapter. And that's why we get this. And now it says Android is safely ejected. And that is something that I had earlier. I'd pull it out, put it back in, and it wouldn't be recognized. So again, this is very hit and miss. I don't recommend doing this, but it is there for those of you who want it. And the last thing I want to show you is I'm going to take that Gigabit Ethernet adapter that I showed earlier in the video, and I'm going to connect that now to the OTG-C cable, and we will test download speeds with that. Okay, and again, I just connected the Ethernet cord into the Ethernet adapter, and you're going to see it's rebooting. I'm going to go to settings, and you're going to see here it says I am connected by Ethernet. So we know the adapter is working. I'm going to test the speed. Now, right away, we're going to get questions, why aren't you getting gigabit speeds? And the reason for that is because the USB connection doesn't make that possible. We're still getting very good download speeds, but it's not even as good as the Wi-Fi 6 connection on this device, where we get high 400 megabits per second. I know a lot of people do like running these streaming devices off of Ethernet for a more stable connection. However, I have found that the advancement in technology regarding Wi-Fi 6 has come a long way. I never have any dropouts running my streaming devices off of Wi-Fi 6 routers. I personally don't think it's a huge deal to have Ethernet connected to these devices. Guys, if this video has helped you, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to my channel for many more tutorials like this in the future. Have an awesome day, and thanks for following Troy Point.